Hey everybody, it's Somni Respiratory Flux, call me Flux for short, or whatever you want to call me. And in the last episode, we made a lot of progress. I went and got the one puzzle piece I missed off screen because we already saw the bonus area that it was in. And in this episode, we're going to finish up World 3, probably. 3K, Shifty Smashers, the temple level for this, well, that's temple level for the temple world, I guess, but they're technically ruins, but you know what I mean. It's the golden banana temple level. Basically, just the place that you get to for all the Kong letters. And you can see right away what this level's gimmick is going to be. It's these giant blocks that are going to shift around and try to smash you, as the level name so subtly implied. It's about shifting smashers. And as you can see, they and all of the you can get smashed. It's not necessarily an instant kill unless it like pinches you. Like if I were to drop down into there, it would probably be an instant kill. But it's not actually an absolute guarantee that you're gonna get instant killed from getting smushed. Like right there, I'm fine. But because of the nature of the danger of this threat and the fact that all the puzzle, yeah, okay, even that one, it just did a 1 heart of damage. So I'm actually not as bad hard pressed for survival as it seems, but I should still probably be careful. And I've already gotten 3 of the puzzle pieces. Honestly, I would go so far as to say this is the easiest of the K levels, just because it's the threat happens at predictable intervals, and if you just take things slow and plan ahead, it should be good. Although when your controller messes up, it can screw you over. That is definitely a reason for me to believe that the whole thing is not something that has happened before. Downside is you do not automatically get Diddy Kong, and I don't think there are any hearts in the level, so I only get 2 hits of damage, so I have to actually kind of take this a little bit slow and a bit more methodically than I have been. And of course, everything is labeled with images from the DK arcade game. Gotta love that little nod to the history of the character, even when the bits are not necessarily. Also, I just kind of pounded on the table a bit while shaking the Wii remote. Yeah. But, yeah, I still maintain that this is not that hard of a level. If you're bad at taking your time, or you're playing co-op with 2 players, which can make one person rushing ahead because they think they know what they're doing, cause the other one to mess up, it can be a little bit tricky. And of course, if you don't read the patterns right, it can also be tricky, but just take it slow and watch what's going on. Everything is going to be in either one of 2 positions all the time, so you're not really in any danger of sudden movements. You can just observe the patterns and then just kind of jump to where you need to go with the patterns. The thing that's probably going to give me the most trouble is the part where where holding down on the D-pad is not keeping me ducking for the length that it's supposed to, which you cannot avoid ducking in this section of the level. So if my controller decides that I am not going to be is not going to let me duck, then that is going to be a bit of a problem. Fortunately, I got through that section just fine. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the last section where I would need to duck, but for now, I am going to be cautious, stay on this block so I don't get smashed by... That was a bad jump. I should have waited. Yeah, the smashers can be a little bit unforgiving unforgiving, the timing, if you try to rush through the level. So, again, I've said it a few times, but my best advice I can give is don't rush. Except this part of the level is a little different. It becomes a timed thing for the very end. So yes, you do have to rush that part, but it's really not that bad. And you've all basically seen the whole level by this point, so any more that I have to do, I might end up just kind of speeding up. I might have to speed up a good bit of this level. Just because it's not really the most interesting footage to see, and I'm not really having anything super interesting to talk about right now. I mean, I could try and talk about something. I mean, that's probably the best thing for me to do, is just kind of talk things through. Ow, I got smashed. Really? That is one thing I will kind of say is a little bit weird about this level, and I kind of mentioned it vaguely before, but the hitboxes for getting crushed by these things are a little bit unforgiving in some aspects, which it just kind of comes with the territory, I guess. But the fact that there are no hearts anywhere in the level that I can find definitely makes things a little bit trickier, because you basically, there's a lot of stuff going on and you kind of have to be careful and not mess up too many times. And you have to be able to see ahead of time where the safe zones are going to be. Ooh. And at this part, don't... Yeah, see, that's a little bit of... There's time, but I would argue that having Diddy there helps, so you can hover a little more precisely over those last few gaps. Or it might be easier just to try to get to the end without getting hit, and just have that extra hit to take during that part, so that you can kind of get through the last parts where the gap is narrowing, and it will not give you safe spaces within and open back up again. It will smash you utterly. Did anyone notice my gameplay footage got really stuttery there for a second? Like, it looked on my on my TV that it was even stuttering, not even just on my capture feed. So that's a little bit weird, and I should probably be a little concerned by that. These enemies, by the way, I think those things, these things that happen, these two enemies, I think, are the only traditional enemies in this level. Everything else is just getting smashed or spiked. Sounds like I'm talking about tennis and volleyball here. Yeah. And again, I think for some reason, like, my controller sometimes doesn't want me to stay ducking while I'm trying to duck still. Okay, so I got 2 hits for this part of the level. Now watch me not even... Okay, yeah, just get through there. And that's the end of the level. Like I said, that part at the end is really the only part that I would say is particularly hard, but that's a really brutal place to put something like that. But yeah, got another one of those orbs, and that just leaves the boss. 3B Ruined Roost. And based on that gong there, it seems like we're going to be fighting something of a bird. And yeah, I'm gonna just come out and say this. This is probably one of the harder boss fights in the game for me. At least for how early in the game it is. It's not necessarily that hard, but it's... Okay, Gong Guy is hatching an egg, it seems like. And the egg falls into a giant cauldron. Soup's on. Like, literally, it's like a soup bowl. and the bird is chucking bombs out of the soup bowl at us. I like this guy's enemy name. The boss fight, the boss name is called Savory Stew, as in the name Stew, but it's a pun on the fact that he's in a giant soup cauldron. Basically what you have to do is throw his bombs back at him, which it's an easy enough concept, but not the easiest thing to pull off. And as you do more damage to him, he starts to... Yeah, you can't jump on him. You just kind of have to throw the bombs at him. Also, those bombs will spread fire that you want to jump over the flames. You can get... And... Okay, and then this happens every 3 hits. He just pulls out a freaking nuke. And changes the topography of the battlefield. I don't think he does it a second time, but be careful that those orange bombs, they will spread flames around, and you have to kind of avoid those. Yeah. This boss fight is a little bit frantic, especially when he does something like that. Okay, I lost Diddy Kong, but I got another hit on him, so... Okay. Yeah, this fight gets a little bit crazy. Yeah, he's pulling out another nuke here. Oh, that was the last hit. I didn't realize how many hits I had on him. And, oof. Even Donkey Kong covered his eyes, and it's just a fat, plucked chicken. And now we get to bang a gong, get it on. Yeah, all that. Wow, 22 hits again. And that went surprisingly smoothly. I expected that boss fight to give me a lot more trouble. I know it's not a hard boss fight, but it's one that I always found a little bit difficult personally. And the gong cracked in half, and yeah. Well, time to go to World 4, which I definitely have time. I would be... If I ended the video now, it would be less than 15 minutes. Even without editing anything out. So, I'm going to start on World 4, which is the Cave World, and... World 4-1, Rickety Rails. Based on that logo and the way things look and that level name, I think you can guess what this world's gimmick is. Other than Cranky's shop and the boss and the Kong level, there are 5 levels in this world. Every one of them is going to be either a minecart level or a rocket barrel level. And that is something that a lot of people dislike about this world. Not that they dislike the rocket barrel. I mean, some people dislike the rocket barrel levels a lot. But generally, I don't see people dislike the minecart levels on such a systemic level. So, it's kind of a little bit odd. Oh, so jump in there. There's a puzzle piece. But, yeah. So it's like the puzzle, whatchamacallit, the bang, blow that up and you kind of blast your way into the cave, which is kind of cool. But I don't usually see people who dislike the minecart levels, like, on a, like, conceptual level. Like, they might find them hard or find them, or just be bad at them, but I don't see people who dislike them as a full concept all that often. There's probably some out there, but yeah. But the thing is, because this world is entirely minecart levels and rocket barrel levels. Also, this is a new type of minecart level. Instead of jumping with the cart, you jump on from the top of it. Wow. That is probably the dumbest way I could have died there. But no. Because of the Yeah, gotta go this way and get Diddy Kong at least, even though, again, minecart levels are one shot, you die. So there's really not much benefit to carrying Diddy Kong along with me other than just having him. And, of course, the hover, because of the way that you're jumping from things and there's going to be non-minecart platforms at some points in the level, you do at least get a chance to take advantage of the hover mechanic. One thing you want to check to make sure is you don't skip this because this is a bonus room. But yeah, it's mostly just that people have issues with the concentration and they want levels that are not quite so bunched up. They would have preferred more minecart levels spread throughout some of the worlds and not just a bunch of them in one world of the game. And I get that, but thematically it works for this world. And I don't know. I just don't necessarily mind that they're all bunched up. I do have one level of this world that I dislike, but we will get to that probably in a future episode. And the other thing is, of course, the minecart levels can be a little bit stressful if you're not quite sure what you're doing. So that certainly doesn't help for some people, especially because it's a lot of, in some sense, the fact that the minecart levels are enforced auto-scrolling. And also, here's another little bonus area. I guess to some people, the minecart levels might, when bunched up quite this much, are distasteful in the same way that quick time events can be distasteful when there's too many of them without enough extra gameplay between them. I guess, because you're just pressing buttons with good timing, kind of what all platforming is, but... Oh, whoa, I managed to climb that. I do not know how I did that. I think there's something a little glitchy happened, but yeah. My point is, a lot of people take issues with some of the aspects of this world and the pacing of it. I disagree. I actually really like this world. And yeah, if that level is anything to go by, it's hopefully going to go fairly quickly. But yeah, it just sort of goes along. And I enjoy the minecart levels, and some of the ones in this world have some pretty interesting things that they do. Also, that actually opens 2 pathways. We will explore those 2 pathways next time on Let's Play Donkey Kong Country Returns. In the meantime, respond, vibrate, feedback, resonate, comments below. Tell me how it was. Tell me if you agree or disagree with me about the levels in this world. And if you think that my assessment of why people dislike them is wrong. But please keep it respectful, as always. And, of course, next time, we'll explore further into the cave. This has been Some New Respiratory Flux. Goodbye.